Hello there, sword friends. Today I have something of an unboxing and initial impressions, if you will. Inside here is a review sample from Musashi, and I think I know what's in the box, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm going to look at it and then give some of my initial impressions. There will be a formal review to follow where I do more stuff with the swords, but these are just going to be my quick thoughts. Now, before I open it, I suppose I should note, I pinged Musashi and asked if they would be willing to send a review sample, and they obliged, and I guess supposedly sent 2 of them in this box. A few sword friends had asked my impressions of a more economically priced option, so I asked Musashi, since I looked on Cult of Athena and found some pieces that were around, well, I don't know, $60 or something like that. Anyway, we'll find out what they actually sent me for the purposes of review and stuff. This is already going swimmingly. Skills as an unboxer are super duper. Unfortunately, this time boxes did not arrive crushed and mangled, so that's why. Not so bad. Okay. Alright. I always like to look in there and make sure there's no note or something I'm missing. Doesn't look like that's the case. So let's see what we got. We got one from the Musashi style. It is not telling me what it. Oh, there it's SS245BK, and then a Musha series sword. So let's check that out, I guess. So I don't know exactly what these items are 100% or what they cost. My request was to look at something that was basically in the economical price point. So I know Musashi also has some higher end stuff. I believe there were some like schmancy pieces made by Chris Zhu. Maybe I'm saying his name wrong as well, but he won some like Masters of Fire competition and is a smith of some note. Anyway, I don't know a lot about what the offerings are from Musashi, but I'm looking at their website. They have some things that are $400 or $500 and up. And I didn't ask for any of those. I wanted something that was kind of budget conscious, so something that somebody would get if you were looking to spend, just to see what a $60 sword can do. Anyway, it looks like I have a Musashi sticker in here and a Musashi Cleaning Kit. It says, hey, here's how to do stuff if you need to. Which I find ironic that it comes with the instructions for a cleaning kit when this doesn't appear to be a sword that one would disassemble. Though, again, I don't know exactly what was sent, so maybe these are factory seconds or something like that. Anyway, quick notes here. We have what is, in appearance, a tactical style wakizashi. Maybe it's long enough to be a katana, but it seems like a wakizashi. Seems very reminiscent of the Hanwei tactical wakizashi, but this, I don't know if this is wood or not, or if it's a plastic of some sort. It looks like it has a paracord wrap, and it seems very tightly wrapped, so I guess that's good. No molly collectors or mole, I don't remember how they are, but none of the attachment pieces seem to come with it that would attach it to your backpack. Quick notes that I see, it doesn't appear to be that old because there are no rust bits on it. There also aren't any gaps on the scales here, and that was something I noticed on the Hanwei pieces, was that there were gaps that I could get my fingers underneath, and I don't see any of that malarkey here. Seems pretty well fit. There's a very small bit of scuffing at the very tip here. I don't know where that's from. This seems to be a hard plastic resin of some sort. Has a kind of a grippy texture, and the pins seem to be in there pretty solid. Also has little shitadome pieces, which I can pull out with my very weak fingernails. So I imagine if I disconnected this paracord wrap here that it would come undone. Toot sweet. There's one successful note. It does not come undone. Now the other first thing I note here is that this seems to be made not stupidly. So from the standpoint of people distracting me out my window. That's what's happening. From the standpoint of these kind of assembled pieces here, it always drives me nuts when they include a habaki on a sword that you can't take off because water inherently gets down in there. So going this tactical theme, I like that they skipped out on the habaki. It serves a purpose, but with this added kind of ricasso section here, it looks like it's doing the job of friction fitting as a habaki would. General shape and profile, it has basically the appearance of a Japanese style sword, but it's different. The bevels, there's a lot of ripples in the surface, but it's actually got a pleasant shape to it. It's stout in the hand feeling as well. Yeah, it's like a wakizashi on the shorter side for a katana, but long for a waki, and it looks like it has a big secondary bevel. It appears sharp, but secondary bevel sharp style, which honestly I don't necessarily mind for a tactical katana. If the idea is that you're using this on harder targets, and maybe even not everyone is going to get into a tactical style situation, but these can be kind of fun to bring out and cut brush with in a camping situation. That was always the thing that prevented me from using the Hanwei one, is it didn't seem robust enough to really satisfy that urge. It was made very much like a katana style blade, which for my purposes would be kind of bushcraft. I'd go in the backyard and have fun. I don't have any tactical really need for it. This thing seems like it's a bit stout for the tactical realm of things, at least in my mind, but feels pretty good. So from the standpoint of like a fun camping backyard tool, it seems stout and robust, and I'm interested to see how well it holds up. This secondary bevel means that if I whack it in the ground and it chipped it or dented, that I might actually have the apparatus and tools to sharpen it and give it a good enough edge again myself. And I like the application of semi-function of a habaki without doing it. It also doesn't look like it's all filled up with resin and garbage in here. This is not the best looking Koiguchi, but again, I don't know exactly what this thing would cost, but I venture a guess that this is probably under $100, and provided that that's the case, I think overall it's a compelling, fun little thing. Stout, feels good sized in the hands though. Yeah. Fun. We'll see how it does. Interested to see in my backyard bit of shenanigans how well this guy holds up. I venture a guess it's going to be, seems stout, so I'm going to have some log chopping fun with it. Okay, next I'm going to open up this Musashi branded piece. And again, I don't know exactly which pieces these are, but as I update it, I'll throw the pieces, the model numbers, and the prices that they can be purchased for in the description down below so that you have an idea. All right, we have a certificate of authenticity. Now, if I just go business sense-wise, so here we have, it outlines kind of what the blade is, and I will get to the how well these match in the formal review. It says Shirakawa series, the Dragonfly Katana is the name. Overall, it's 27.5-inch blade. Anyway, we'll see how well these things actually match. These, I think, are, as I look at the things that come with swords, like boxes, right? I talked about the Ryujin box some time ago. These boxes, even with this print, this is a pretty nice box for a box that you're going to probably chop in half with the sword. And that means it costs money, but a box like this with a print on it is less expensive than a wooden box with silk and stuff like that. These are probably much less expensive to make, I would guess. It's a printed sheet of paper. And I think this is a nice fun little ad. I think if you're going to display something, you can frame it. There's a lot of ways to use it. If nothing else, it's supplemental information for the piece you have. In terms of pieces that you might be willing to pay more for, having a piece of paper that documents and looks like an official thing made on what seems to be very good paper, personally is a nice little touch that I like to see. I honestly like having that more than I do a sword bag. That's just me. I like this kind of informational bit. I don't always like as a consumer when people invest in fancy big boxes, because I'm not really willing to pay more because it has this box that I would never see again. If you open these up on like Christmas Day or something, like I think of when I opened up my Nintendo when I was like 5 years old, the box was cool. I saved the box, but I don't know how many people do that with swords. So the more you invest in the product itself versus the packaging, so long as the packaging does its job and gets it from point A to point B, at least that's my thought. I'd be kind of interested to talk to whoever does packaging at sword companies to understand what the strategy is. Anyway, that is supply chain nerdy stuff. Anyway, got a little warning here. It says, warning, this is not a toy. Death or serious injury can occur for display purposes only, not to be used as an actual weapon or battle device. Well, that's discouraging, because that's exactly what I intend to do with it. Not really as a weapon, but kind of as a backyard battle device. It's always funny when you see it sold as battle ready. I guess I'd have to check and see if that's what it's sold as. Anyway, they say not a weapon, probably because of those guys on the internet that chop each other's noses off accidentally with swords. Silk bag. It looks like it's double layered. Seems of decent quality. Hey, that's not bad looking. Again, I don't know at this time what this thing costs. So here we have the Dragonfly Katana. Looks like we have some cotton ito. It's soft. The diamonds are uneven, and I can make out the panels. I can make out the edge of the panels through the diamonds in some spots. The transitions here look actually decent. A little bunched up down here towards the bottom, but along the edges doesn't look like I'm going to be pulling this off or anything. Samegawa panel is not overly fantastic. 2 bamboo pegs. The ito is not super tight, but it's not super loose either. I would describe this as usable, functional. Not as tight as what you might hope, but definitely serviceable. This doesn't give me a lot of concern in terms of use. I think this is going to hold up, for an inexpensive sword, which I believe is what this is. It's well within reason, and I think we'll see how well it holds up. Anyway, comfortable in the hand, has a nice kind of swept shape, feels good. The cotton is very comfortable. Does it rattle? Not yet, and it's not wrapped in polyurethane or any of that kind of stuff either, so that's good. Holds, super tight. The fittings are kind of hokey, Dragonfly looking, not super well cast, but again, this is supposed to be a budget sword. I will note what it is down at the bottom. A Sageo that's got Shidodome that actually don't pop out instantly. Most of the time they do, so we'll see if they come out or not. It's got a nice gloss black side, and the planes seem pretty well done on this. It's a uniform shape, so it feels pretty chunky in my hand. Koiguchi, not super well done, not a traditional Koiguchi, but again, for a budget katana, it's right in line with what it's supposed to be. Planes in the blade are actually reasonably flat. It's not perfect, but decent. And this is actually a very comfortable feeling little sword. It's not super loud. Looks like it has some distal taper that gets skinny in the center and then widens out. This will be fun to test. It doesn't, in my camera again, it's easy for me to see the polish in my camera. It's looking better. It looks like in the camera I can see a Seguha style hamon, but with my naked eye it's really tough for me to see. Back here you get a better view for what I see. It doesn't really look like much, but when I get it in this light, you can see almost a differential hardened Seguha style hamon. That's what it looks like. The polish on the Kasaki again looks better in the camera than it does to my eye inherently. It looks to be a higher polish than what it does in when I actually look at it. Anyway, feeling wise, it's comfortable. Yeah, I don't mind using this. Feels like a nice fun little sword. Sharpness wise, I don't really have anything around to test cutting with it, but I will at some point. And so for the moment, Musashi Dragonfly Katana. You guys were asking me what it was like or what I thought of some of the more practically priced pieces. So hopefully some of the details that I've given you give you my impressions. For a budget sword, this feels pretty nice, and I will do a more formal review where I take some photos and overlay and talk more about all of the things and actually cut stuff with it. But I just took it out of the box, and while I'm in my pajama pants from class yet, I haven't actually used the sword, so I don't know how it feels, but I'll get more acquainted with it over the next couple weeks. If there's anything you would like to see in a more formal review, a test that you think would be helpful for either one of these swords, the tactical iteration or this inexpensive kind of katana from Musashi, please let me know in the commentary down below, and I will endeavor to try and appease your curiosity through videos. As always, review samples. This was sent, and I don't believe the intention is for me to send them back, so I will be doing probably some destructive testing on them is my likely intention. So I guess we'll see how far I can push it. That's all I have for you. I hope it's been interesting. As always, cheers and thanks for watching.